Before we tell you who the winner is, though, we are going to go to our next guest. Canada Reads is only 2 weeks away, and every year, 5 high-profile Canadians select 5 Canadian books and debate the one book all of Canada needs to read. This year, From the Ashes by Jessie Thistle is one of the 5 contenders. The memoir is both a tragic and inspirational account of surviving trauma, addiction, homelessness, and incarceration. It is being championed by country music singer George Canyon. Now, we've heard from Jessie Thistle, and he'll be our DJ for a day next Friday, but this morning, we're hearing about the book from our new book columnist on Labrador Morning, Wayne Button. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning, Janice. Welcome back to Lab City.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here. Well, people might know you as a chiropractor here in town and also as the ex-mayor of Labrador City, but above all, you're also a bookworm. Where does the passion for reading come from?
Oddly enough, it only started a couple of years ago. I went to school for a long time, and when you're in school for that long, you're studying and reading all the time, so I never really read for fun. So a couple of years ago, I did the cliche thing and actually had a New Year's resolution to read, I think it was like 5 to 8 books that year. So I started with a goal of 10 pages a night, and it just kind of took off from there. I found it really helped me focus, and also helped me going to bed at night. So it just kind of took off from there, and I've just been reading ever since.
And looking at some of your social media posts and things, you do a lot of reading. And it doesn't seem like you stick to one genre either when it comes to books. Is that fair to say?
Pretty fair to say. I don't read a lot of fiction, not because I don't like it. I just prefer nonfiction. So I try to read anything that's interesting. Believe it or not, I actually get a lot of my book recommendations from you guys. A lot of CBC shows will have people on. Let's say, for example, the coronavirus going on right now. They'll have somebody on who probably wrote a book about viruses. I'll look it up. If it looks interesting, I'll take a picture of it and I'll add it to my album in my phone. And when I go to Chapters, I stream through those pictures and I pick up 15 or 20 books. Like, for example, you guys had someone on last week, an Indigenous woman, about her travels across the land. So that's in my repertoire now. So maybe I'll look for that when I go to Chapters.
You must have a huge book collection.
It's pretty big. Like I said, it only started a couple years ago. So it's, and I try not to buy too much because, like I have a couple on deck, so I'm trying to make it a passion and not an obsession, so my wife keeps me in check. But I say when we go out once a year to Chapters, I'll get at least maybe 15 books or so at a time, and people always give me gift cards for Christmas and stuff. So yeah, I got a few books at home, yeah.
And we've added 5 new books to that collection. Our producer, Rebecca Martel, asked you to check out all 5 books that are in the race for Canada Reads. And we recruited you, of course, and some other fellow readers. And hopefully they're going to talk to us next week. But you chose the book from Jessie Thistle. What did you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. It was extremely riveting. I got through it pretty quick. It was an easy read in the terms of, like, it was... like, I didn't have trouble focusing. He really kept my attention, and every chapter was different. So yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, I absolutely loved it, and I would recommend it to a lot of people.
Now, for anybody who may not be familiar with the memoir From the Ashes, can you tell us a little bit more about what it's about?
Yeah, so Jessie Thistle book is really a biography on his life. Not a normal life by any means. So he goes through different stages of his life when he was a kid. He goes through addiction, homelessness, abuse, and then how he basically regains himself back at the end of his life, and even going through exploring his Indigenous culture. So it's a lot of ups and downs, which made it a really interesting read. But yeah, I got to say, it was an amazing book.
I'm in the process of reading it myself, and you're right, it is an easy read, but I also find it's very emotional, and it takes toll, and sometimes I have to put it down and just take a break from it.
Yeah, no, exactly. There is times where I got to be honest. I feel a little bit of my privilege, and I read it and I think, man, I can't believe there's people out there right now that live this way, and also not only live this way, but battle back from it and make a good life for themselves, right? So it was extremely moving.
Wayne, who would you recommend to pick up this book and start reading it?
So anybody basically that's probably into nonfiction biographies. A lot of people when they read biographies, they'll get like big names like Winston Churchill or things like that. But this is a different type of biography of someone that you can probably relate to a little bit more. Anybody that is interested in Indigenous culture, or if they have an interest in homelessness and penitentiary and how the jail system works. So anybody with any type of lens like that would love this book. But really, I can't see anybody picking it up and not liking it, to be honest.
So you have one of the 5 Canada Reads books done. You have 4 more to go. Which one are you moving on to now?
I'm not sure. There's one written there by Newfoundland artists, so I may start with that one. I'm not sure. We'll see.
I'm sure it will take you no time to get through the next 4.
Yeah. Usually more than 10 pages a night, so I'll probably get it done in a week or so.
Well, thanks so much for joining us this morning, telling us a little more about the book, and we're going to be talking to you more about this coming up in the next few weeks, I'm sure.
Thank you so much, Janice. Appreciate it.
Wayne Button is our new columnist on Labrador Morning, and we're looking forward to hearing what you're reading. Jesse Thistle is the author of the book From the Ashes, and that book is being defended by country music singer George Canyon this year on Canada Reads. Now, the debate is taking place March the 16th to the 19th. Here's George with Let It Out.